Hi everyone. So this is part B of the dress video. I had intended it to finish. I tend to make about 15-minute videos because my camera, I don't have I don't have a video camera. I use a picture camera, and maximum I can do is 15 minutes. And I think 15 minutes is quite a long time for me to ramble on. But so I didn't manage to finish it. I'll do. So this is part B to that episode 1 video. So where I left off was on the silk squares. I do also have I have a pair of gloves here, especially when in cold. I tend to I live in the UK mainly, and it gets really cold. I bought these when I was at final year of university, and I've had them for now. I bought them in 2010, I think, or 2009. And these are cashmere lined. They're not silk lined. These are cashmere lined gloves, and they are really warm. I believe this is sheepskin with cashmere lined, and they're by a company called Dent, D-E-N-T, London. So these are really good, and they've held up really well in over 8 years. Not a stitch out of place. I think these were I think they were £70. But they were the only ones that I found that didn't have a silk lining. The reason I didn't want silk, because it sometimes can get cold. The cashmere ones really keep you warm, especially in snowy weather. They really keep you warm. And to be honest, £70 sounds a lot, and it was a lot because I was still a student. But I think over the 8 years, it has most definitely paid back its investment. And that's the only pair of gloves, sort of dress gloves and outdoor gloves, other than the mechanics gloves that I use, but sort of dress warm gloves, everyday gloves for cold weather when I'm not sort of handling, engineering or dirty stuff or stuff. They've most definitely paid back the investment, and I really like them. So if you're in the UK, check out them, and I think they might also make gloves for ladies as well. Have a look, but I would definitely recommend getting a pair with a cashmere line instead of silk line. I would definitely recommend that. Also, one thing I would recommend, because I was pretty much a glove novice at the time, I would recommend that you get gloves that have a fastening. Because it tends to, these are a little bit opening up as the leather naturals up. I would recommend you to get gloves that have like a fastening on here, because then they stay sort of snug and tight. But I still think it's fine even if you get them without. But definitely get a pair of gloves that have cashmere line instead of silk line. That would be my recommendation to you. Finally, one of the other things that I have is a Louis Vuitton tie case. So when I used to be based somewhere, and then say if I had to go to another city, I would pack a small case in a bag, small case of clothes to take with me. And I hated my ties getting scrunched up. I hated that because I love my ties. And my ties is my kind of the flair. One of my female colleagues, she's a scientist, and she wears blouses. She doesn't wear ties, but she wears blouses, and instead of cufflinks, she connects the two cuffs with silk ribbons. So that's her unique sort of expression, and she changes the ribbons, and she has like loads of ribbons with like different patterns on them, polka dot, or I think I've seen some like fleur-de-lis kind of patterns, floral patterns, or just standard like bright red, or not bright, just red, like my silk squares, and they're silk ribbons. The silk that people wrap presents in, that kind of like silk ribbon. So I've seen her wear white, green, red, and different patterns, and it kind of looks pretty cool. So because I wear ties, that's my sort of colour blast. And she again wears blouses which are very again, she follows the sort of the engineering tradition of wearing sort of lighter coloured blouses, like the white and the light blue ones, or like a shirt I'm wearing today, which is, if you can see, like a white shirt with like check that kind of blouse colour and shade. So, and then instead of wearing cufflinks or buttons, she'll use the silks, and that's just her expression. That looks, it's unique and it's really cool. So for me, it's the ties. So I didn't like them getting scrunched up or getting dirtied, or so I invested in a Louis Vuitton case, and in here I generally just put one or two ties. So in here, let me see if I can get this in shot. Okay, I'm going to have to just move the camera a little bit down. There we go. So in here I will just put one or two ties that I need to carry with me, and in here I currently have my silk tie, which is a bow tie for my tuxedo. I'll wear the black tuxedo tie with a dark blue tuxedo, so because this is quite a formal color, and then the dark blue kind of just adds to a little bit of flair. Always get a bow tie which is self-tying. So this is a self-tying bow tie. There are that you have to tie yourself, self-tying, because there are some there are ties that are pre-tied, and there are ties that are on like a string, like a rub, stringy string kind of thing. Do not get them. Do not, because they just don't look good. I think you can always open up the tie and drape it around your neck afterwards. That looks a really nice image, like Bond or something. But never get those ties. Seriously, just buy one or two, even just one. But get a self-tying tie. And there are loads of YouTube videos. You also get instructions on the back of how to do it. And you can also watch YouTube videos. There are a lot of people who, or when you buy these ties, you can actually ask the people there at the store to teach you how to do them, and they'll be more than happy to do that. So again, I bought this from TM Levin. Again, if you live in the UK, I would highly recommend this store because I use it a lot. I think I better say, just in case someone says it, no, they're not sponsoring the video. Nothing of my video is sponsored. Everything I have is I bought it myself. They don't even know I exist or I make these videos. So don't come back to me, because I think literally every video I see where people talk about a specific product, they end up saying things like that. And no, nothing here is sponsored. So that's just what I wear. It's just what I wear. And then the other tie, I'm trying to see where I got these from, the silk squares. I think the silk squares are, again, the silk squares are from different shops. No, yeah, so the silk squares are by this company called Crombie. Let's see if I can get that. So I use different companies. So I don't use just one company. And the reason I use different companies is because I go to the company that I can afford, and I'm still a student, I'm a postgraduate student, but I can afford, and B, that I'm going to have a long relationship with, and the product is value for money. There are a lot of other tie manufacturers, old British, really old British tie manufacturers, but for me they're very expensive, and that's not an insult to them or anything. It's just I'm not going to buy something that I just can't afford. I might buy one, like I did here, and I might buy, I bought one set of gloves, and then but sometimes I want a spread, a variation. So I'll buy something that isn't too cheap, isn't too expensive, but is middle to upper kind of thing. I'll save up for the middle to upper bit, and then I'll just go for something that is middle of the value. I'll have a look around. I don't always go to one shop. I'll have a look around a couple of shops. There was a couple of shops that I went to last time, and I really badly wanted that design. But I think the tie that I really had my mind set on was like £120 or £140 for one. I badly wanted that tie. I loved that tie. It was beautifully designed, and again by an old British tie manufacturer, suit manufacturer, shirt manufacturer, that kind of company. Tailor is the word I'm looking for. But I just couldn't I couldn't justify paying £120 for a tie, because I'll end up ruining it, and or I'll end up never wearing it. So I think £120 for a tie for me was not possible. I mean, there are people, who will pay. Hermes ties are about £170, I think, maybe 210, some of them, and they're just normal ties. But and the reason I did mention that these were £25. Well, the reason I like them is because they're 8-fold ties, and that is that they've been folded 8 times, so there's a bit of thickness to these ties. The ones from Hermes and the ones from some other companies are really light. It's almost like it's just a one-fold tie, one piece. So these have been folded. You can see there's double material inside. So they are really, really thick ties inside. Whereas when you feel the Hermes ones, they're almost literally like this. They're literally wavy like this, whereas these ones they're quite weighty in terms of ties. So I would recommend, so for silk squares I'd recommend Crombie, because they are affordable. I think I've not bought them for some time now. I can't remember how much I think they were £20 each, I think. But I really cannot remember. I mean, I've not bought silk squares for over 5-6 years, and I just cannot remember them. I have a few, but I bought them over the course of a year, and then I thought, well, I have them, and I'm just going to end up using them for ages and ages. So they just get dry cleaned. But I just can't remember the exact price. With ties, I know, because I often buy this tie. Unfortunately, now TM11 has stopped making this pattern, so I might have to change the pattern, which I really don't want to. But buy a couple of things that you like, and then, because industry moves on, people move on, they try to be ultra fresh and move on. So that kind of thing. So choose something that isn't too garish. That don't wear anything like that sports a club or sports anything like an allegiance, because it creates unnecessary dialogue. Just wear something, because you're in the office, wear something that will show your individual flair, that you can create a flair, but don't wear something that is too garish or that in your face supports something, because some people might not like it. I mean, you might think it's quirky, or you might be a die-hard loyalist for that club or whatever, or cause, but other people might not be. I mean, like this, you can't tell what this is. I mean, these are all the same, but on the back they have a Prince's Trust logo, so you can wear something like that other people can't see, but you know what it means. That's okay, and that's my recommendation. I mean, it's your decision, but that is what I would recommend as a professional, especially in the office. So yeah, so this was aimed at sort of a slightly younger audience, because this was all the way I dressed was passed on to me by my fellows. They didn't do videos, so I'm doing a video. So for young professionals coming into the industry, becoming scientists and engineers, firstly, good luck and welcome. And it's fantastic to have you people with your new skills and new ideas and new ways of thinking and making the world a better place, so we really appreciate that. But dress is still important. We still maintain links and standards, as you know, and this won't ever change. It's not backward dressing properly. It's continuation of good tradition. So I hope both of these parts helped. Let me know down below in the comments, and if I can help you, I'll most definitely do that. Let me know. So Again, this is just my suggestion to you as it was suggested to me when I was a student, and I thought I'd pass it on. So, thank you very much for watching, and I will do the part number 2 of this later on. Thank you.